So, you have people viewing your website, but they are not converting into customers. Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you a simple solution to alleviate this and actually solve that problem for you. I'm gonna be building an AI chatbot that is added to a website and automatically pulls new leads into your CRM. And I'm gonna show you step-by-step how to do this. So if you stay to the end, I can promise you, you are going to be able to capture more leads that are on your website and hopefully convert them into customers in an easier way. All right, so let's talk about the tech stack we're gonna be using in this video to build this system out. First of all, we're going to be using an AI chatbot software called Chatlink. It allows you to drag and drop with a no-code user interface that allows you to build AI chatbots. We're going to be using Vendasta as our CRM to pull these new leads and information into our CRM so we could then follow up with them. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started on this build so you could follow along step by step in this video. All right, so first of all, here is Chatlink. You're going to want to come to chatlink.ai. Here is the website. It's an awesome chatbot building software. As you can see here, you could drag and drop these different blocks in order to interact with it. We could use text, image, capture text. We could capture numbers, emails, all this great stuff that makes a chatbot amazing. First of all, let's look at the pricing here. So if you just need one seat, 2 chatbots, 100 AI credits, free is a good option for you if you're just looking to get started and want to test out this platform. It's a relatively inexpensive platform compared to the others like BotPress or VoiceFlow. So that is why I'm going to be using this. Let's go ahead and log in now. First of all, what we want to do is we want to come to create chatbot. Start from scratch. Let's name this assistant. We're going to then come to builder. And as you can see, here is where we could actually build our AI chatbot. All right, so first of all, we want to come here and actually use a text block, drag and drop that right here. Click this to, or connect this to the start node there. And what we want to do is we actually want to write in a simple greeting. So, hey there, can you first let me know your name and email address? So we want to ask this question because next we want to come down and add a form in order to capture this information to use it later on and to send this information to our CRM. This is how we're going to capture this lead and then send it down our marketing automation. So let's say first name, and we want to store this as a variable. Call this first name. Then let's do last name. Again, store it as a variable, and let's call this last name. And then the last of all, we want to then put email and store it as a variable and call this contact email. There we go. That is all great. And so what we want to do now is we want to actually go to another text block, add this here, and we want to then connect these nodes. And let's say thanks, and then add this curly bracket here for the variable, and then let's say first name. That way it'll greet them by their first name, make it more personalized. And then let's just say, where are you looking to buy a home? So this is a custom message that I will send, and then later on we'll actually trigger the AI step to actually get more dynamic with our answers as opposed to a templated response. So where are you looking to buy a home? We want to then capture a response here, and we want to choose a variable and then say location. And so that way we could use this later on to actually help give them recommendations based on the location and the preferences for the home. So make sure to store that as a variable, and then let's actually move on to our next question. Let's do another text block. Make sure to connect these. All right, so let's say great, and then let's use the variable location is a great place to buy. All right, so let's add that there, and then let's actually go ahead and add another text block underneath this, and then say, how many bedrooms are you looking for? And then from there, we then again want to go to capture response, and then let's choose a new variable. Let's say bedrooms, create a new variable. There we go. And then again, we want to move on to another text block, and then just make sure to connect these here. All right, so first of all, we ask the location that they want to buy in. We want to know how many bedrooms they're looking for. And then let's just ask for any other amenities. All right, so here's the response. So what other amenities are you looking for in your home? Do you want a pool, specific neighborhood, etc.? And then let's go ahead and capture this information here. And then let's just call this other specs. Add that as a variable. And then let's go ahead and move on. So the next thing we actually want to add is we want to add one more block here for a question to capture another variable. So let's go ahead and add another text block, connect it as usual. You get the point here. And then what we want to do is we actually want to capture a response. And then this right here is going to be, basically it's asking budget. So what about your budget? Do you have anything in mind? And then capture that text. We're going to add this variable as budget. As you can see, it's really easy to store these variables. And then I'm going to show you how to use them later on inside of our workflow and inside of our AI step in order to give the correct preferences based on this information we pull from the conversation. So there we go. That is great. Now on to the fun part. We want to go ahead and add our AI response node. So let's drop this right here. And then we want to go ahead and connect this. As you can see, it says there are no data sources found. So we need to go ahead and upload a knowledge base, which is essentially the brain behind our AI chatbot, in order to have information on the properties we have available, what we offer, all these different things in order to train this on our company. So what we need to do is we actually need to come here, come up to the AI configure here, and then go to knowledge base, and it will take us directly to our knowledge base. And what we need to do is we need to add a new source. And for this, we're just going to be using a website. So as you can see here, this website is actually for a real estate group, and it's going to pull information from this website in order to kind of use this and recommend properties based on the available properties that this company has. So let's click next. What it's going to do is it's going to crawl this website. It might take a couple minutes, and then that way we're able to kind of train it on this data that we provided with. That took just a few minutes, but here it actually scraped all of these different URLs on this website. So here are all the different properties that our company actually has for sale. So let's go ahead and submit this. And now that is added as a new data source, and it's inside of our knowledge base. So one other thing we could do is we could add a sitemap, we could add a URL list, we could upload documents. Another thing we could do is actually import some text here. So what I did is I actually took a training guide for our company here. I made a mock-up training guide with ChatGPT. So this is essentially for an employee to be trained on our company and our company information, how to handle frequently asked questions, etc. And so this way, this will then be used as a knowledge base, and think of this as like training a new employee on our company. So let's go ahead and submit that. Now that we have a comprehensive knowledge base, let's go back to our builder and then actually add our AI step. And you can see there's no error here, and let's go ahead and configure this. So now that we're on to this AI step here, what we want to do is we want to actually change this response source to knowledge base. So essentially, if this is an AI model, this will kind of be able to use all of the information that like ChatGPT and these large language models have. However, we don't want that to be the case because we want this specific to our knowledge and our knowledge base that we have. So we only want to use that information that we trained our AI on in our responses, so that way it doesn't get all wacky and give the wrong information. So what we want to do is we actually want to, and then the last one is other specifications. And so now that is mapped, we could then go ahead and save this. And then now that that's saved, let's actually go ahead and preview this and see how this works. This is not done yet, but it's going to give you a good sense of what the flow looks like. So we have the form, so first, last name, and then here we go. Let's submit that. And then great, where are you looking to buy home? Looking to buy home in Dubai. How many bedrooms are you looking for? Let's say 3 bedrooms. And then what other amenities are you looking for in your home? Do you want a pool, specific neighborhood? I'd like a pool and want to be near Dubai. What about your budget? Do you have anything in mind? Let's just say 3 million tops. And then as you can see, looks like we actually got an error there. So let's go ahead and try to fix it. So I actually figured out what the problem was here. I forgot to go ahead and configure the instructions. So this is really important. Not only do we need the kind of question or the prompt inside of that node there, but we actually need to add instructions to our specific AI. So let me write some in here. Your job is to present the user with specific properties that match their preferences. Let's add a new one. Since a lot of the website's actually in Arabic, we actually want to go ahead and say always respond in English. And then if no properties are found for the user's criteria, suggest alternative properties and share full details about them, such as location, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, amenities, etc. Share the URL of the properties if available. Try to convince the user about the alternative properties. And let's add another one. Let's just say keep your responses as short as you can, no more than 2 sentences. Let's stick with this for now. If we need to add more and configure more kind of instructions for this, we will. But let's save this and then test it out. So there are a couple more things we need to do before we actually go ahead and test this out in order to make sure that the flow of the conversation is kind of finished. So what we want to do is we actually want to come to another step here, and then it's going to be capture text. We want to then connect this node here. We want to store this as a new variable and call this user question. And then we want to pass off that variable to our AI response step here, and then we'll just basically add the variable and just say user question, and then we want to loop this back. That way it will continue to go through here. If they have any questions, it'll just continue to answer those. So now that our chatbot workflow is almost set up, it should be functioning almost properly. We actually need to add the step that sends this lead information to our CRM. So let's come and delete this connection here. What we want to do is we want to come into this form. We want to actually change these. So we're going to change these to first_name. That's going to be the variable. We need to store it like that in that format. So the same for all of them. So last_name, create variable. Email, we need to add that as the type as email, contact email, and then we want to add another field. Let's actually do phone number, and we need to add that as number, and let's just call that contact_phone number. And there, those are good to go. Then what we need to do is we actually need to add a step here. This is going to be a webhook. So HTTP request. So make sure to connect this instead of connecting it to this chat module there. So connect it there. And what we need to do is we're going to click post, and we need to get this webhook from our Vendasta. All right. So now we are inside of our Vendasta. We're going to come down to our automations, click my automations, and here's where we're going to create a workflow. We want to go to blank, and what we want to do is we want to type in webhook. So webhook is received. Let's copy and paste this webhook URL and then input it right here into this URL, and then come back over to Vendasta. All right, so here we need to actually define this payload data. So we're going to go first_name type, and we're going to have that type be a string for all of these. Add another data value here, last_name string, add another contact_email. Basically just use the exact same variable name that we used inside of our Chatlink account. And then we need to do contact_phone_number type. We're going to add that as a string as well. Actually, we're going to add that as number. No, so we're going to have all of these as strings. And then let's go ahead, save that. And then while we're here, we're going to then come and say contact, create a new contact. So when we receive this webhook from our Chatlink, it's then going to create a new contact inside of our account. First name, I'm going to come to previous step, trigger, and then basically click first_name. And we want to map all of these fields. Pretty self-explanatory. Do this for all of them. Last name, add that. Come down to contact email, and then do the same exact thing for the phone number. Boom, there we go. Now that those are saved, we need to then go back to our Chatlink account, and I'm going to do that now. So come into our Vendasta trigger here, click and copy and paste this webhook URL. Come back into here. We're then going to paste that there. And what we need to do is we need to then come to this request options and go to body. And we need to come down, click JSON. And then what we need to do is come back to our Vendasta, come to our payload data, and then we need to copy and paste this information here. Follow along. This isn't that complicated. If you follow step by step, you should be able to build this pretty simply. I'm not a coder, but I could help. I could do this myself using these platforms. So it's pretty simple. So copy, paste that, make sure it just has one of these curly brackets there. And then what we want to do is we want to do first name, and we need to then do double curly brackets for all of these. And then we need to map this variable here. So let's come in, first name, it'll be first_name. Same for the last name, do double curly brackets. And we will say last_name, contact email, double curly brackets, contact_email, and then same for the contact phone number, contact_phone_number, double curly brackets. There we go. So that all should be good to go now. Let me see. I think that should be all. All right, so come back to our Chatlink. We want to then connect this where if it is a success, if that webhook is posted, it will then be sent to this new node. And then if it fails, it'll just end that conversation there. So let's just test this to see if it works. We need to come back to Vendasta, turn on this workflow, make sure this is set, and make sure to allow this to run. Amazing. So now let's come and test this and see if this webhook actually works. So we want to put in all this information. All right, so looks like that worked, because if it's a success, then it moves on to this next message. So you can see we received that message there. Let's continue with this and then double check that this was saved into Vendasta. Let's just say I'm looking to buy in Dubai. I'm looking for 4 bedrooms. What other amenities are you looking for in your home? Do you want a pool? All right, so I want a pool, and I also want to be near the Palm. What about your budget? Let's just say 1.2 million USD. All right, so it looks like there is a bit of a mix up here with the answer, so we need to go ahead and fix that. But let's go ahead and see if this webhook was sent to our Vendasta and see if the new contact was added. There we go. Contact was created. Let's go and see exactly what it says. Here we go. So here is my contact information. So using this chatbot, once we have it on a website, it'll automatically send a webhook and update the CRM with that new contact. All right, so since I wasn't able to get the exact response I was looking for. I went back to my AI instructions in the knowledge base, and I added this instruction and said, if their specifications don't match any available options, kindly let them know that we don't have anything that perfectly fits their budget and show them other listings that are similar. So let's go ahead and test this. All right, so here they don't have, basically it says that there's nothing that specifically matches that budget or the specifications, but it actually suggests a 3-bedroom apartment in Dubai, which offers high quality finishes. Just say, send me more info. Awesome, so it actually sends me a link to the listing there. Great, that's pretty cool, but I actually don't want to send me a link, so we need to configure this in order to tell us exactly the specifications within inside of the chat. So I'm now inside of the settings here. I'm gonna change this temperature to 0.20. That basically gives the AI a bit more room and freedom to kind of interact with the user in a different way as opposed to how we have it structured. So hopefully that'll help us get some of these questions answered more. And then let's come to the instructions and then basically say, all right, so I'm adding another rule that says always present the recommendations to the users like this in the conversation: location, price, bedrooms, other amenities, and then a link to the website. So let's save that and see if this works. All right, so here we go. It says, I don't have any properties that perfectly match your budget of 10 million. However, here are some alternative options. So it actually shows us like this, the location, the price, the bedrooms, and the link to it, just like we instructed it in the knowledge base there. So this is absolutely awesome. This is exactly how we want it to function. Let's just test this once more to make sure that the Vendasta webhook is still working. So let's test preview bot. Let's type in a different name here. Let's just say test name at gmail.com, and let's say, so it looks like that webhook was sent. Let's come back and double check inside of here. Automation complete, a new contact was created, and test name. There we go. We have this all set up. And now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you real quick how easy it is to then add a marketing automation in order to send an email sequence to this contact that was generated via our chatbot. All right, so real quickly, I'm going to show you how to set up an automation now that sends an email immediately to a new contact when it is created. So let's add a new trigger here, and let's say a new contact is created or modified. First name. All right, so when a new first name is added, that is what triggers this workflow automation. So let's go ahead and save that and then come down and just click send email. We just click send an email to a contact, add an existing email. And then for example, like let's say we had a promotional email template built out. We could then just click there, save that, and then now it will automatically send them this email here simply because it was captured via our chatbot on our website. So now to finish this all off, I'm gonna show you how you could easily add this to a website to then begin capturing leads, giving them responses to kind of questions they have about your services, and then sending it to your CRM. So I'm gonna show you how simple it is to actually add this chatbot to the website now. What we wanna do is we wanna come to dashboard, website widget, and we wanna copy and paste this, and we want the floating chat option here for the display type. Come over to our website builder. I'm gonna go to our website here, click on settings. What we wanna do now is we wanna add in the footer code, our code that Chatlink actually gave us. And then we wanna make sure to save that. And then now let's come back to overview, and we wanna preview our website, and this should be live and good to go. All right, as you can see, this little widget down here, here is our support bot, asks for the first and last name and all that information. And as you can see, here we go. Where are you looking to buy a home? Dubai. And it's gonna take us through that whole sequence that we've been over many times in this video. So that is how you do it. I hope that was useful for you.